doing today. Uh, I wanted to put together a online version of the information meeting that I did back in December and January, and this is for Gulf Coast Elite Homeschool Football. So I'm just going to kind of explain who we are and what our situation is going into the 2026 season. Like I said, I held a couple of these in the winter, held one in December, one in January, had a really good turnout. But I wanted to offer one online as well. So that's what we got going on here. Introduction and vision for the team. Um, we want to provide homeschooled young men the opportunity to participate in a tackle football program from middle school through high school. We recognize that in the state of Mississippi, homeschool athletes are not permitted to play in the public schools like they are in some other states, and so this is a need for young men in Mississippi. And so that's kind of our background for what we're doing here. We want to instill Christian values, teach the game of football, how to be part of a team, and learn how to engage with adversity and the challenges that come along from playing sports that translate to life, in a Christ honoring way. And we see athletics as a vehicle to make Christ known in the community. So that's kind of the introduction and vision behind what we're doing. Uh, my name is John White, and I'm functioning as the head coach of the organization. And you see my contact information there. Feel free to get a hold of me or get in touch with me at any time. Just some information about me, who I am, where I come from. Um, I was a four-year starter in high school, played in Panama City, Florida. Um, and you can see where I went. I started at Rutherford High School, um, Panama City, and then went to Panama City Christian School my senior year. And then I went on to play at Sterling College for 1 year um, and had a great experience there. I did 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, um, kind of in their special ops branch, force reconnaissance. And I've got degrees from the Baptist College of Florida, University of Florida, and then I've got a doctorate from University of Southern Mississippi. And currently, my vocation is I am the associate pastor. I'm the minister of music and worship at First Baptist Pascagoula. My basic philosophy when it comes to sports, but life in general, is number one, be Christ-like in all that we do. Number two, be elite in all that we do. And then number three, instead of complaining about the circumstances that we find ourselves in, work hard to change them. So a lot of what I say tonight, and a lot of what I use when I coach, um, goes through this funnel. Being Christ-like, being elite, and working hard to change your circumstances rather than complaining about them. Football's a team game. It takes individual sacrifices and commitment to better the team. And I really preach a team is always first mindset. I want players to have the attitude of a team guy. That's very much what you see in these military special operations outfits. Everything's about being a team guy. We before me. It's about being all in. It's about being committed to the team. And that does involve working on yourself. You really can't contribute to the team unless you're the best version of yourself. But you're the best version of yourself because you want to help the team win. One of the things that I preach to players is that players are under the critical eye of the community. So it's important that we're not only elite on the field, but we're elite in our image. And so we need to be in control of our social media, our friend group, our speech, our behavior, everywhere, everything that we do. Um, Elite preparation and elite effort lead to elite performance, and that's not only on the field. That's in life. So the community is watching you, watching me, especially when we designate ourselves as Christian athletes. They are watching to see how we respond and what we do. So very important. My style of football philosophy, I believe in an aggressive, fun, and unpredictable style of play. Um, I believe in putting the best players in the position to make the best plays. Uh, and so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm very devoted to player development. Um, though we're trying to be a team and trying to win, my number one goal is to develop players. That's my number one priority. If you want to be a football player, I will not quit on you. I'm going to help you become the best version of yourself possible. And the way that I do this is through structured practices and honest expectations. Each practice is scripted, planned to the minute, and every practice will include difficult challenges, um, repetitions that feel good, repetitions that aren't necessarily as challenging, but just let us do the things that we do well, and then opportunities for individual players to shine. And that's how I do it. Playing time and role on the team is earned in practice. Um, I believe that practices should be open to parents, so I allow parents to come to practices. Um, and then just one other bit about my coaching philosophy. I will never discuss another player with another parent. So if you come to me as a parent and have an issue with some other kid on the team, I'm not going to discuss another player with you. I'll be glad to discuss, your own son and how he can improve his development and standing on the team. But I really don't engage in speaking about other players with parents. Our team structure, we're going to have a junior varsity and a varsity team, and this is going to go from 11 years old through 14. That's kind of the junior varsity age. That's kind of middle school up through ninth grade ish, 11 through 14. Um, as long as a student does not turn 15 by August 1st of the playing season, they can participate on the JV team. And the varsity is going to go up through 12th grade. Now, as we launch the team, it's going to be necessary to bring some of those junior varsity kids up to the varsity just so that we have the numbers. And we're going to practice together anyways. So the things that the varsity team is doing are the same things that the junior varsity team are doing. However, a player may have a role on the JV team, but a different role on the varsity team. And so it's just kind of necessary at that point so that we're able to field a team. Our league affiliation is the Mid-South Christian Athletic Association, or the MSCAA. You can see there some of the teams that are represented. I believe that the players should be at practices. There's really no excuse for unexcused absence. Unexcused absences hurt the team, and again, this is about a team. This is about being a team guy, and so we need to be at practice. If a player has to miss practice, the way to avoid that being unexcused is to communicate. And so I understand life happens, and sometimes there's scheduling conflicts, so we just need to communicate. Player expectations. I expect players to attend and fully participate in all practices, be coachable, be elite, be a team guy, be available for all games, sign and uphold a code of conduct, and that'll be given out at a later date. And then demonstrate championship DNA on the field, in the classroom, in the community. And so the way that we do that is, stay in shape, stay hydrated, get adequate sleep, wear the correct uniform that day, wear the correct shoes, maintain your equipment. Those are some examples of championship DNA. And then things you can expect from me: I'll be on time, prepared, motivated. I will exercise attention to detail in the planning of practices, in the way that I evaluate your talent, and in the way that I put a plan together to help you be the best player you're capable of. You can expect that I'm going to study opponents and evaluate our strengths and weaknesses to help come up with detailed game plans that will help us to be in the best position to win games. You can also expect that I have a door is always open policy with parents and players, always willing to talk to you and help figure out how I can help you improve as a player and as a young man. And then lastly, I'm always going to treat you with fairness, honesty, and compassion. Season timeline. We're already through some of this now, so the it says we're going to hold more information meetings before February. Well, this is the third one, this online version. Um, Preseason training, we're going to hold 3 preseason training winter voluntary workouts in February. That's the 14th, 21st, 28th. They're going to be from 2 to 4 o'clock. We're going to hold the first one in Pascagoula, the second one in Loosedale, and the third one in Pascagoula. And then as we get into April, we'll actually start holding some more frequent spring workouts, and then practice will begin in July to mid-July, and then carry on into the season. And the regular season dates, it's actually later August through November. I have September there, but later August through November, and then postseason expectations. Playoffs run roughly through Thanksgiving, so that's kind of the season timeline. Games. JV games occur during the week, usually on Mondays, and then varsity games happen on Friday or Saturday afternoons or evenings. And we're having to secure fields and compete with, the public school teams that use fields, and so we have to be creative about when we play, what days, and so that's why you see games for JV on Mondays, varsity games on Fridays, usually Saturdays. Like I said earlier, some of our JV players are actually going to play up on the varsity team, and they'll have the opportunity to dress for both. Wanted to share some key differences about 8-man football and how it's different from 11. And again, this is an 8-man organization. Next year we hope to move it to 11, but this is a great way for us to get our foot in the door and get a foundation moving forward, starting off with the 8-man game. So obviously there are 3 less people on the field, but other than that, a lot of the rules, the fundamentals, are very much the same with 11-man football. And so, you can see there, just a kind of idea, there's 2 less linemen, and 1 less defensive back, or 2 less linemen and 1 less receiver. And so that's really, really how it changes. The size of the playing field can be smaller to accommodate, 6 fewer players on the field. So the width of the field is 40 yards wide rather than the 53 and a third yard 11-man field. This is a high-scoring, fast-paced game, a lot of fun to play, very aggressive, and just an enjoyable. Here's an example of a formation you might see in 8-man, and so you can kind of see there on the line you have a center, 2 guards, and you got a tight end there, and then quarterback, you got running back, and you've got 2 receivers. So you have basically 4 eligible receivers plus the quarterback, 5 men on the line of scrimmage, 3 off the line. So that would be kind of an example of more of a spread formation that we would run. There's an example of it with the defense matched up. So you can see this defense is kind of in a 3-2 kind of look. And so you see we still look at things like the box count for run game or RPO game. And you see how it translates directly to 11-man football, even though there's less players on the field. Here's a picture of game situation, and you can definitely see the width of the field is a little bit smaller here to accommodate, the 3 less players on each side of the ball, 6 less total. Wanted to give some cost breakdown for the team. There's a insurance that we have to purchase to be able to play, and looking at quotes for that, it's going to be about an average of about $55 a player for the season. So that's built into the cost. And then uniforms to get reversible jersey and pants is going to run us about $150 to $175, and then we'll have an equipment fee. So the total for the year is about $280 all in to be on the team. So that will cover the preseason stuff and the regular season with the uniform. So there's kind of an estimated cost. There's an example of some mock-up uniforms that I had made We're all going to get white helmets, so we'll get a decal to go on the helmet that says Elite, and then we'll get the reversible jersey option there that will have two different colors, a home and away. There are some additional costs um, that are just things that we have to negotiate being a small independent team like this. Players are going to have to furnish their own helmet, shoulder pads, cleats, and any other football items, gloves, back plates, whatever they want, visor on their helmet, whatever. Um, and so I wanted to kind of talk through information about helmets and shoulder pads so that you could see kind of what to look for. Here's some affordable options for players for helmets. In any of these helmets that are listed here, the Schutt Varsity Vengeance, the Zenith Varsity X2E Plus, the Youth Rydell iVictor, or the Youth Zenith X2E Plus, any of those are um, great helmets that meet all the same concussion standards as any of the other helmets that you might see that cost a little bit more, but you can get all of those pretty affordably, um, even especially if you are willing to buy these on the used market, as long as you ensure that um, the certification date will be suffice for the year that we play in. You're fine. Most of these helmets have a 5-year certification from the first season of play, and then you can get those recertified after that time is up for a pretty marginal fee. And so most of these helmets, if they're within 10 years of construction, can be recertified and be used. And so you don't have to go out and buy a brand new helmet. You can get a used helmet. And I'm able to talk you through more of that if you want more information. But places you can look are like Sideline Swap, eBay. You can buy helmets there, and then Amazon has these helmets that I've listed here. You can kind of look those up on Amazon. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy and actually try them on, see what works, and then figure out what you want to do. Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are cheaper generally than the helmets. And there's some options there. Douglas Adult D2 M50, the Legion Youth M80, they sell those at Dick's Sporting Goods, and then the Battle Youth Defender. My son wore those this year in football. Great shoulder pads, really light, really flexible. He really liked wearing those. So those are some examples. And again, there's eBay and Sideline Swap. You can look at those. Additional financial information. Um, this organization is going to set up as a nonprofit. I'm in the process of doing that right now. Um, and so we will be able to take donations and such. However, field rental fees and referees, that's one area that we're going to have to come up with revenue to pay. And the way that we're going to try to do that is through some fundraising, but also raising what we charge at the gate and in concessions at our home games. And so we'll have a number of home games through the season, and we'll be able to charge a gate fee and keep that for our team to be able to offset some of the prices of the field rental and referees. That's really all I have today. I just wanted to give kind of a broad overview of the program and just kind of what it would look like to join the team. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Feel free to reach out. There's my contact information again. And look forward to the opportunity to be able to work with your son and try to teach him the game of football. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. God bless.